The parents just wanted, do not utter the word cancer. It is his right to know what has happened to him. There is, if the mother says, I want to continue treatment, if the father says, I don't want to continue treatment, definitely sit separately with both of them. Do not mention anyone's name. Maybe it was a mistake from a nurse or it was a mistake from a senior house officer. You should not disclose any name. Number 22, ethics and law. There is certain terms that has been discussed already. I have told during discussion of the recall part. So there are 4 core principles for ethics. Core principles for ethics. So any decision you should take as a doctor, from the ethical background, you have to think about this 4 core principles, any one of them. It can be autonomy. What is autonomy? It is the recognition that a competent adult with full capacity of understanding is able to make decisions about their own lives and bodies, even when these may seem counter to their well-being and survival. Failure to respect the fundamental right may lead to the clinician being accused of assault. So if someone, they have to be competent and make decision. There are certain decisions you have to obey or respect their decision. Okay, if it is a life-threatening, they are denying something, that is something different. The autonomy is, in the easy language, the thing is, I have my right to take decision according to myself. Okay, non-maleficence. This is an understanding that any decision or treatment offered to a patient must not be harmful. Okay, as a doctor, you will not offer any treatment that is harmful. If there is any side effect and being harmful is not same. If there is side effect, you will definitely discuss about the side effect. But as a doctor, you cannot prefer anything that is harmful. Beneficence. The aim and intention of the clinician is to act the best interest of the patient and ensure that any advice or treatment provided for the benefit of the parent. So, the act should be the best interest of the patient. Justice. The principle requires the clinician to be fair, honest in dealing with their patient. Actually, it means irrespective of ethnicity, variety, religion, sex, you have to be the one. You should treat everyone with fairness and honesty. You should treat everyone with fairness and honesty. Now comes to the confidentiality. The personal information regarding a patient should be kept confidential. As I have told you, that 14-year girl has come to you for seeking contraception. The boyfriend is 15 or 16-year-old. That is not considered as a child abuse. Will you break her confidentiality? No, you will definitely give the contraceptive that she wanted. You see, confidentiality required further consideration in pediatric practice. Okay? There are situations where a mature, competent teenager would expect their medical information to remain confidential, including keeping the information from their parents. In such a situation, these would include denying parents the right to automatically view the medical records of the young person. If the medical practitioner felt that there was an exceptional reason that justified disclosure without consent, then the young person should be told of the need and to break their confidentiality, and the reason should be fully explained. Imagine a child is having leukemia. She or he might get treatment. She might need treatment. Whenever a 15-year-old girl knew that she is having blood cancer and she requests you as a doctor, please do not tell this to my parent, you cannot do that, because the child might suffer a lot in the near future, and regarding the chemotherapy consent and rest of the lots of other thing consent, you will need the parent, the biological parents. But just because the child has requesting you regarding confidential, you cannot keep that confidential, right? You have to disclose this information to the parents and definitely explain why you are denying the confidentiality. That is very important. But in case of contraception, this is their personal matter. The parents does not need to know that. In that case, you can keep the confidentiality. Okay. Now about sharing the information with other members of the team. You see in this paragraph, where there is safeguarding concern, then the pediatrician must share information with other members of the multidisciplinary team who are involved in child protection. Why? Because without informing the child protection team, social service, police, you cannot do anything alone. It would, however, be considered good practice to advise the parents that this was the intended action. The four core principles have, however, been expanded and developed by various declarations over many years, like Declaration of Geneva, Declaration of Human Rights and UN Rights. So these are established worldwide. So there is no concern regarding the background history of this ethics. Okay, now come to a clinical scenario. A boy of 14-year-old was admitted in the hospital with difficulty in breathing. Initial imaging had indicated that he had a thoracic lymphoma and he would require a biopsy. Insertion of a CV line and administration of chemotherapy, prognosis is very good. His parents asked that he was not told of her underlying diagnosis, that the word cancer was not used as his grandfather had died of cancer 2 months earlier. They felt that they were acting in his best interest. The consultant explained that their wish to protect him from the diagnosis was understandable and that it was clear the parents were acting in his best interest. It was, however, important to consider what was in the best interest of the young man and for all the team members to be truthful and honest. So, it goes with justice and beneficence. The consultant explained that it was likely that the patient would work out the diagnosis even he was not given the full diagnosis of the word cancer not used. It was then pointed out when he did not find out that he had a cancer would be angry and those around him had not been truthful. If that did happen, then it would undermine his trust and his parents. Trust in his parents and clinical team member, and they may not believe any future explanation provided. Very important thing. The parents just wanted to not utter the word cancer. Okay? But later on, if he himself does not know what has happened to him, might affect in the long run. The child will not trust us anymore. Okay? Furthermore, there was always the prospect that someone, friend, relative, team member might inadvertently reveal the diagnosis. Then it will be in a great trouble. It was suggested that by giving him the words and the underlying of the diagnosis, that his fears and concern may be reduced, and such knowledge would allow him to participate fully in conversation about his illness. It is his right to know what has happened to him. Hiding these things from him will not help. Okay, so as a GMC professional standard doctor working with children, they should have protect children from abuse and neglect, communicate appropriately with children, respect their confidentiality, treat patients with respect, ensure patient safety, maintain up-to-date clinical knowledge, share relevant information with other agency, ensure good record keeping. Here for the research ethics, research may be funded, this paragraph. Medical research in UK involving NHS patient or adult social care, any of the data and sample from this individual or in some cases, their carer must submit their study to the National Research Ethics Service. No research on this individual or data can be undertaken without full approval from the NRES Ethics Committee. This is very, very, very important. Okay. And research involving children requires submission of the full protocol to a specific research ethics committee designated to review the study in those under 18 years. Clarification from the process of age-appropriate explanation is very important. Trials involving medicinal products in children must go to a committee registered to review both pediatric and medicinal product studies. So, these review and permission are very important. Law. Parental responsibility is very important. A parent is recognized as a biological or adoptive mother and father to the child. The biological mother has full parental right and responsibility and is recognized as prime carer of the child. The biological father will have equal rights and responsibility as the biological mother if he was married to the mother at the time of the birth or his name is recorded on the birth certificate of the child. Very, very, very important thing.